Hello everyone, welcome to free crash course on competitive exams held by VIRAT HINDUSTAN SANGHAM in association with Manifest IAS. This program is inspired by Dr. SUBRAMANIAN SWAMY and is convened by Sri RAVISHANKAR sir, who is a state education convener for VHS Karnataka and also president of Good Neighbors India NGO. So I am the chief mentor of your program, DHANUSH KUMAR. And you can watch this program online on the YouTube channel of VIRAT HINDUSTAN SANGHAM and also on the YouTube channel of UDAYA News Karnataka. For any further queries, doubts, guidance, mentorship, anything you want regarding to any competitive exam, you can join our Telegram channel VHS Education Forum. Just type VHS space Education space Forum on the Telegram channel and you will be able to join us. So we are negotiating the economy part of the syllabus. It's bit in detail because economy is full of concepts. So it will take some more classes, that's okay. But we want to do justice to what we are teaching, right? Okay. So it is useful, as I have been saying, it is useful for both freshers and veteran senior aspirants. Both of them can make good use of this program. Okay. So the source for your Indian economy is Indian Economy by Sriram Srirangam if you are studying in English. Okay, we are dealing with the chapter of taxation. Taxation, right? So every nation, every government worth its name as a or need taxation because they have to spend on social schemes, infrastructure, military spending, in order to run the administration, so many things. So every government needs taxation. So we have discussed the basic concepts, indirect tax, direct tax, all those things in the previous class. Today we will discuss the tax amnesty schemes. I told you the tax to GDP ratio in India is just 11%. Tax to GDP ratio is just 11%. And also, if there are 6.3 crore tax filers, there are just 1.3 crore people who pay the taxes. So there is lot of black money, which means for which there is no tax has been paid for that money. So in order to streamline the black money, in order to bring the black money into the mainstream economy, tax amnesty schemes has been devised. So it is, the meaning of tax amnesty scheme is, suppose you have not paid any tax, you can legalize your earnings. You can legalize your earnings by paying a fine or interest along with the required tax. You have to pay the fine, interest and required tax to the government and thereby you will be able to legalize your income. So amnesty means, it is just like maafi. Government is going to give you maafi, but you have to pay your taxes along with some fine and interest. So there are many schemes with respect to tax amnesty. So the first scheme, so during the demonetization, so one of the main purpose of the demonetization is to weed out black money from the economy. There was a lot of black money. To remove the black money from the economy, demonetization was done. So one of the goals. So after that, the government came in with a scheme called income declaration scheme. Income declaration scheme. Suppose you have a unauthorized income for which you have not paid taxes, for which you cannot show any account. So you can legalize that income by paying a fine. Income declaration scheme 2016 brought in after the demonetization. Along with that, at the same time, along with income declaration scheme, government also brought in Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana 2016. Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana 2016. So PMGKY. So under this, you have to deposit some money in the social welfare schemes or social welfare fund for which you are not going to get any interest. You have to deposit your illegal money or a certain percentage of your ill-gotten money into a fund for which no interest will be paid and it will be returned to you after 4 years. So this is the concept of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. So you have to pay your taxes. First you have to pay your taxes. Along with that, interest accrued on the tax. Suppose you have to pay 100 rupees of tax. So they would levy some 18% interest per year. So if you have if you have not paid the taxes for 1 year, the amount will come up to 118 rupees plus a fine. You have to fill a fine in order to legalize your income, right? So this is the concept of PMGKY. Next, another scheme is Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Resolution Scheme. Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Resolution Scheme. This scheme is with respect to indirect taxes. It is with respect to indirect taxes. So what is indirect taxes? I have already told you. So before coming of GST, there used to be VAT used to be there, excise duty used to be there, excise duty levied on manufacturing, customs duty levied on imports, and also sales tax at the sales tax or VAT at the state level. So these used to be. So lot of these tax disputes used to get stuck in the court proceedings. So the income tax department or the indirect taxes department used to send notices to the taxpayers that you have not paid the taxes. So they have to respond within certain time. But what certain people, what they used to do with large amount of fine, they used to file a case in the court. They used to file cases in the court. So those cases, there was lot of cases, lot of disputes between the tax department and the public. So in order to resolve these disputes, this scheme was brought in. Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Resolution Scheme 2019, indirect taxes. So it gives certain benefits or privileges. What privileges? One is, if you pay the taxes, you need not pay any fine. We can resolve the dispute outside the court. Outside the court, we will resolve the dispute, and you need not pay any taxes. Right? So that is the concept. So it deals with legacy taxes. Legacy taxes means old taxes, old disputes before the GST. Those were called legacy taxes. I told you, excise duty, customs duty, all those things. And it gives amnesty. So there are two principles under this Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Resolution. The first principle is amnesty. Amnesty means maafi. And second, this thing is dispute resolution. Once you settle the dispute outside the court, the dispute is resolved. You need not go back to court. So these are the two principles under this scheme. And if you settle the dispute under this scheme, there is one benefit. See, earlier, if you have evaded the taxes, you are prone to, or you are bound to go to jail, right? Under criminal cases. Tax evasion is a criminal case, right? So it is a civil case, but if you use the tax evasion for money laundering, terrorism, then it gets converted to criminal case. So generally it is a civil case. So even under civil case, you can go to jail. So but under this scheme, there will be no prosecution. But there is one negative of this scheme. There is one negative about this scheme. What is the negative, Andra? There is a moral hazard. What is moral hazard? It means, see, for non-taxpayers, we are giving them provision that you pay the taxes and legalize your income. But this will demoralize, or this will make the people, genuine taxpayers who are regularly paying the taxes, for them they will lose the confidence. They will think that even if we don't pay taxes, it is okay. Government will bring in some scheme and we can regularize the income. So it will demoralize the genuine taxpayers. So it is actually against the genuine taxpayers. Genuine taxpayers will actually lose the confidence in the system, right? So this is all about the legacy dispute resolution. So apart from this, there is one more thing. Vivat se Vishwas scheme. Vivat se Vishwas scheme. It is related to direct taxes. Direct taxes relation is Vivat se Vishwas scheme. Under this scheme, if there is any direct tax dispute, corporate tax, wealth tax, income tax, any dispute with the government, under this scheme, and that is Vivat se Vishwas scheme, you can regularize the income. There is some provision, right? So next, Operation Clean Money 1 and 2. What is this Operation Clean Money 1 and 2? See, during demonetization, there was lot of cash deposits. See, this government had a proper plan. They wanted to weed out the illegal money. So what they did, when they did this demonetization, lot of illegal money was also deposited. So slowly until then the IT department was sleeping. So it immediately got into action. It started sending notices to people. So if you have to deposit a money above, so there was a threshold. If you deposit some above 4,000 or 5,000, you have to give your PAN card or something like that. So it started sending notices to people, saying that, how did you get this money? How did you get this money? So with this Operation Clean Money 1 and 2 is exclusively related to illegal cash deposits. So phase 1 is Operation Clean Money 1, phase 2 is Operation Clean Money 2. There are 2 phases, right? Okay, this is, if you know this much about Operation Clean Money, then it is more than sufficient. So next concept comes that direct tax code. This is very, very important. There is lot of demand for direct tax code. Why? See, we bought in GST for indirect taxes. But direct taxes, there are so many provisions, so many laws, so many rules. So there is actually a confusion regarding direct taxes, right? Who is going to pay the taxes? To whom the taxes are paid? How is it distributed among the state and center? So many things. So if there is a dispute, how it will be resolved? So just like GST, if we can bring in a proper law for direct taxes, there is a provision, there is a demand. That demand is this direct tax code. So it tries to replace, see, income tax actually is paid under, there is a Income Tax Act 1961. Income Tax Act 1961. IT Act is not Information Technology Act. Income Tax Act 1961. So if you are paying income tax to government, under this provision only government will collect taxes. IT Act 1961. So this direct tax code is proposed to replace the IT Act. It is proposed to replace the IT Act. Okay. And also to simplify the payment of taxes. See, earlier if you are paying the income taxes, there used to be a bundle of or a large booklet of documentation. You have to fill each and every line. It used to be very, very hectic. So now government has simplified it. There is only one page you have to fill and you can file your taxes, right? So it also aims to, direct tax codes also aims to simplify the tax filing procedure. So along with that direct tax only, when it comes to direct tax, there are lot of reforms along with direct tax code. What are the reforms? One is wealth tax. So earlier there used to be wealth tax. Now wealth tax is abolished. There is no wealth tax. If your income is more than 1 crore, you have to pay a surcharge. Surcharge is there. There is no wealth tax now. So that is abolished. Then corporation tax. Corporation tax in 2019 it was reduced from 30% to 25%. Now corporation tax. See, suppose I was talking to one of my friend in US. So there the corporation tax is 35%. So it is one of the highest corporation taxes. That is why all this Apple, Google, all these companies, their headquarters is in Ireland. So because if the headquarters is in USA, they have to pay a lot of taxes. 35% is huge money. It is almost more than 1/3 of the income, right? And also income tax is 40% there. Income tax is 40% in California. In the state of California, the income tax is 40%. If you earn 100 rupees, 40 rupees goes to government, right? So in India, how much is the income tax? The highest slab is 30%. So it starts from 10%. From 10% it goes up to 15, 20, 25, 30, right? So that is the highest. So okay. Next, corporation tax is reduced to 25%. Yes. And along with that, there is a general anti-avoidance rule. Anti-avoidance. See, this corporation tax, even though we have lessened it to 25%, there are countries, tax havens. Tax havens andre, it is a heaven for tax. There is no tax. So there are countries where suppose British people or British citizen or British company wants to invest in India. So they don't invest directly. What they do, they go to Mauritius, which is a tax haven, and from Mauritius they are going to direct the tax towards India. So what happens in this criteria? They are trying to avoid the tax because Mauritius is a no tax haven or very less tax. So if that kind of a plan is there, then that is called general anti-avoidance rules. So the companies try to avoid paying taxes. So what the government does, government bought in GAR under G20. GAR. We will discuss what is GAR in upcoming times. Okay, next is DTA, Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement. We will discuss that also. It just means, see, suppose a company is domiciled in India and it was also functioning in Singapore, right? So they have to pay taxes. They have to pay taxes both in Singapore, same product, same manufacturing, same product, they are paying taxes both in Singapore and India. So to avoid that, this agreement, we have signed this agreement with more than 80 countries. So this agreement, Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement, is bought in. We will discuss what it is in some time. Next, POEM, Pace of Effective Management. So this criteria, it says that, see, there are multinational companies, MNCs. What is a MNC? Which has presence over various countries. Infosys is a MNC, though it is India born. It has presence over multiple countries, right? Okay. So, place of effective management. I told you double taxation avoidance. Let us say there is some company which is domiciled or which is functioning in Panama and India. Panama is a tax haven. Panama, where is it? Central America, right? Panama Isthmus, Gulf of Panama. Yes. So, Panama Canal, you would have heard it. It is important from your geography perspective. Panama Canal, all that region. Greater Antilles, Lesser Antilles, all that region. Gulf of Mexico. Very important from your geography perspective, right? So, let us say there is a company in Panama, there is a company in India. Same company is functioning at two places. So, there they have started the company just to avail the tax benefits because Panama is a tax haven. But majority function is being carried out in India because technology availability, human resource availability, because of all these reasons, majority functions is taking place in India. So under this provision, place of effective management, where is the exact functioning of the company taking place? Where the function is taking place, there only the tax will be paid. So this is the concept of place of effective management. Next, with respect to direct tax code, the committee name is important. It is Akhilesh Ranjan Committee. Akhilesh Ranjan Committee. Yes. So it submits its report in 2019 and it aims to reform the 1961 Income Tax Act. Akhilesh Ranjan Committee, not Akhilesh Yadav. Akhilesh Ranjan Committee is an economist. So 1961 Act na reform madadake this committee is formed, right? Okay. Next we have the capital gains tax. What is the concept of capital gains tax? Capital means what? Bandavala. You put the capital in something, you gain the profit. Upon that profit, if a tax is imposed, that is capital gains tax, right? So you invest your money in land and after some years, let's say 10 years, the money doubles. Your capital has doubled. So you have gained 100% hike. On that 100% hike, what is the tax that is going to be imposed? That is capital gains tax. So there are two types of capital gains tax. Two types. One is long term capital gain tax, and another one is short term capital gain tax, LTCG, STCG, right? So long term capital, see, which is higher? Is the long term capital tax is higher or the short term? Short term is higher. Why? Capital gains tax. See, this stock market you are investing your capital. Short term, if they invest, what happens? They put the money, they make profit and immediately leave the country. Foreigners, if suppose foreigners invest the money, they put the money in the stock market, they take the profit and they leave the country. So it is short term. So it will lead to speculative investment. Speculative investment. Speculation is actually discouraged in capital market. Speculation andre guesses. Based on guessing or speculation, market ivat bೀಳುತ್ತೆ, market avag bೀಳುತ್ತೆ. Ukraine alli war aaytu, there is a speculation that stock market crashes. So speculation is actually very bad because it is not one person who is speculating. Lot of persons will speculate together. Ukraine crisis, suddenly BSC, NSE fell. Sensex and Nifty 50 fell. It is based on speculation. See, actually there is no issue as such. Ukraine war, it does it impact India? It will take some time. But people's mentality that it is going to fall. They fear, and they fear together. That is called speculation. Speculative investment is actually made in the short term. So it is actually bad. That is why short term capital gains is more, to discourage speculative investment, right? Long term capital gains, the tax is less because that is good. Money ivag band ivag hogala. It will stay for some time in India. Yes? Okay. See, this long-term capital gains tax actually was abolished on shares. Share market LTCG was abolished earlier. But now it has been reintroduced on equity and shares. I have told you what is the concept of equity and shares. It has been reintroduced on these things. Next, cost inflation index. So before knowing this cost inflation, so capital gains tax. Capital, see, I told you, you buy a property and it gets doubled in 10 years. Is the actual price of the property increases or is it because of inflation? Actually, inflation indanu rise agirutte and also due to actual rise. But the tax is levied only on the actual rise, not on inflation rise. Hope you are getting the difference. Actual rise of the property and inflation rise. So inflation rise mele there is no taxation. So there is cost inflation index and there will be one index. What they do is they are going to deduct from the gains. Your property is become 100 to 200 rupees, but the actual gain is 70 rupees and 30% is inflation, 30 rupees. So only on that 70 rupees the capital gains tax will be levied, not on the rest 30 rupees. So inflation is deducted from the gains. This is the concept of capital gains tax, right? Okay. So now we will talk about inverted duty structure. Inverted duty structure. What is inverted duty structure? See, this concept is related to import and export. Import and export. See, generally, I have told you that exports should be encouraged because exports bring in foreign exchange. Exports should be encouraged. And imports as far as possible should be discouraged. Apart from essential imports, crude oil, pharmaceutical medicines, all those things, APIs, active pharmaceutical ingredients. I will discuss that when it comes to IPR. So, lower taxes on, see, in order to increase the exports, the tax has to be low. If we reduce the tax, exports will increase. Export tax na reduce matter, export increase agutte, right? And to stop the imports, we have to increase the import tax. Import nas now nilsadike, we have to increase the import tax, right? So, that is normal. That is a normal duty structure, duty and a tax structure. But inverted duty lena agutte, lower tax on raw import import mele low tax activi, export mele we are going to put high taxes. Avagenagutte, imports will be encouraged and export to discourage. It's a bad practice. So why this is happening andre, you can take the example of rubber goods, rubber. So we are importing rubber from all these South Asian countries, South Asian, Malaysia, Myanmar, all these, Indonesia, all these countries. So if we are importing the rubber from there, rubber raw material mele low tax low ide, but rubber the finished product baruttala, rubber in there are so many products that are made. So that finished product mele tax is high. So rubber finished product is not getting exported, whereas raw material is getting imported. So this is actually a bad taxation policy. So this is called inverted duty structure. Actually export mele tax should be less and import mele tax should be more. If that gets reversed, then it is called inverted duty structure. Why this happens? One of the reason is FTA, Free Trade Agreement. Free Trade Agreement alli, we cannot impose any restriction on the, or we cannot impose tariff on the imports. Suppose we have free trade agreement with ASEAN. So ASEAN can pump in all the goods into India. We have no right to impose any taxes. That is the reason of this inverted duty structure, right? Okay. Free trade agreement is one reason. Next, tax expenditure. What is the concept of tax expenditure? See, government gives lot of subsidy on various things. Government gives lot of subsidy on various things. So in order to promote growth, in order to promote industry, in order to promote regional balance. So today lot of the companies are concentrated in around Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Noida, Mumbai, Kolkata, these cities. So in order to distribute the industries properly, spatially, industry should be there in Hubli also, it should be there in Mangalore also, Mysore also. It should be there in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Regional stability, regionally proper distribution ge, we are giving tax concessions. You set up a IT industry in Hubli, you will get this much tax concession. And in order to boost employment, you set up this much industry, you provide this much employment, we will give you this much tax concession. Startup policy, we are giving tax concession. 3 years there is no tax for startups. No capital gains tax for 3 years for startup according to startup policy 2016. So the government is giving lot of concessions. This concessions is called tax expenditure. Tax expenditure is not the expenditure done out of the taxes. Tax na collect madbekarane there is some concessions given to public industry. That is the concept of tax expenditure, exemptions and concessions. So this is actually what revenue foregone, right? If we don't collect the taxes by giving the exemptions, the revenue, it is a revenue loss for the government. So government every year is losing 6 lakh crore to tax exemptions. Tax exemptions, it is losing up to 6 lakh crore. Why tax expenditure is required? I have told you already. To promote balanced growth. Growth has to be balanced in the region. That I have told you. And also, tax expenditure alli, what happens? It distorts the resource allocation. See, resources will go to those industry or those sector or those regions or to those people who have tax concession, right? So it will distort the resource allocation. What? Tax expenditure. So that is on the negative side. On the positive side, if it goes to the tax exempted people, they will produce more. It is helpful for the economy. So tax expenditure can be seen in both negative and positive way, right? Okay. Next, we will discuss the concept of tax havens. Switzerland was a tax haven. Ireland is a tax haven. Mauritius, yes. Singapore, Panama, all these are tax havens. There is no tax or very minimal tax. That is why companies try to go there. So, no, there is no tax. First is there is no tax or very less tax in these places. And there is no tax information also. If India goes and asks that which Indian has invested in your market or your economy, they are not going to give the information. There is no tax information, right? Along with that, in the tax havens, there is no presence. There is no presence. Andre, see, there are companies in the Mauritius. Mauritiusly, there are companies, lot of companies. But does it mean there is any activity that is taking place there? No. No economic activity is taking place there. Just shell companies. I am going to discuss what is the concept of shell company. There is no any presence. Companies do not have any presence in these tax havens. They just are going to utilize these tax havens for the purpose of evading taxes, right? So this is the concept. Next, you have tax paradise. Tax haven andru onde, tax paradise andru onde. It is a heaven paradise. So Panama and Paradise Papers. So what is this Panama and Paradise Papers? There, whoever had evaded the taxes, whoever had deposited their ill-gotten money, illegal money in the tax havens, our ಬಗ್ಗೆ information got leaked. There was an information that even Amitabh Bachchan's money was, illegal money was there, but that was not proved later on. So this made a lot of noise few years back, Panama and Paradise Papers. So, illegal money ಯಾರೇ deposit ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ information it is going to divulge, right? So this is the concept of Panama and Paradise Papers. So it is regarding tax evasion and illegal money. Next, the concept of base erosion and profit shifting. Base erosion and see the name, the word or the statement itself is self-explanatory. What is base erosion and profit shifting? See, base means tax base. Tax base. Suppose Infosys is headquartered in India, right? So let's say the tax base of Infosys is India. So in order to evade the taxes, this, let's say Infosys is evading taxes, take the example, though they don't do it, they will shift the base. Tax base na India in the some other country they are going to shift. Tax base is shifted from India to some other country. So that is base erosion. Base is getting eroded. Tax base is getting eroded from the domestic or indigenous country, and the profit is shifting. Profit is shifting from domestic arena to international arena or some other country. ಈ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು that is shifted to some other country. So this is the concept of base erosion and profit shifting. So BEPS. Did you understand the concept BEPS? From India it is shifted to something else. Base is eroded, profit is shifted. Shift the base, right? And also this is called as tax planning. There are three things: tax avoidance, tax planning, and also tax evasion. Three things are there. Tax planning is actually good. You plan the taxes. See, you are paying life insurance and medical insurance. For that actually there is no tax. If you have paid the taxes, or there is minimal tax, right? If you have paid the taxes for that, so you can get rebate in your income tax. You can get rebate in your income tax by showing that you have paid so much insurance, right? So that is actually tax planning. You plan to reduce your tax expenditure or your tax liability na reduce madadu, that is tax planning, and it is legal. It is legal. Whereas tax avoidance and tax evasion are illegal. Three concepts, only three concepts: tax planning, tax avoidance, and tax evasion. Tax avoidance, avoiding to pay tax. Tax evasion, evade from paying taxes through illegal means. So those two are illegal. Next, the concept of shell company. Shell company. So these shell companies andre, these companies do not have any functioning. It is just a shell. See, you buy a coconut. You take out the inside coconut inside this thing will be there. No? You take it out. So only the shell will be remaining. Right? Only the shell will be remaining. So without that inside material, inside fruit, is the shell any use? Of any use? No. So similarly, shell company, inside there will be nothing. There will be just the shell. To outsiders, it looks like a company, but inside nothing. So these are fake companies. Fake companies created to evade taxes. To evade taxes. So Mauritius is known to have these shell companies. Next, you have the concept of black money I have discussed. This BEPS encourages black money. So when you don't pay the taxes legally, it is actually black money. BEPS there is a black money. And also it leads to moral hazard. Moral hazard means, see, some companies are actually honest. They are in India, they are not doing BEPS, they are properly paying the taxes in India. But some illegal companies are doing BPS and getting lot of profit. So it is a hindrance for genuine taxpayers. Just like tax amnesty schemes, which creates a moral hazard, BEPS also creates moral hazard for genuine taxpayers. Genuine taxpayers, it is going to create a moral hazard. So they might feel that even though being honest, honesty is not rewarded, right? So this is the concept of moral hazard. So how to curb this BEPS? BEPS now how do we stop? One is there is a OECD BEPS framework, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. It is a majorly a European body, but other developed countries. So it is a organization of developed countries. Your the BEPS framework there is a BEPS framework of OECD, right? And also there is a USA FATCA Act. What is the full form of FATCA? You don't need to know. So you just remember to counter BEPS. There is it means some financial transaction countering act, something like that. So to counter BEPS, there is USA FATCA Act is there. Along with that, you have G20 framework is there to counter BEPS, base erosion, profit shifting na counter madake. There is a G20 framework, and also there is double taxation avoidance agreement. DTAA is also there to counter BEPS. Double taxation, I have told what is double taxation. So those who do double taxation avoidance, I mean double taxation avoid madake country India has signed many agreements. So that is also signed to curb base erosion and profit shifting. These are the measures. Okay, we will discuss what is DTAA, GAR and everything. So double taxation avoidance agreement, very important. So this agreement is signed between the countries. It is not a multilateral agreement. Multilateral andre among the countries, among multiple countries. Bilateral means among two countries. So it is a bilateral agreement between the countries, right? I have told you double taxation and reno anta. Suppose a company is functioning in India and Singapore, it is taxed both in Singapore. Same income is taxed in both in India and Singapore. In order to avoid that, there is a signing of double taxation avoidance agreement. As simple as that. So this double taxation avoidance agreement actually the investment is going to increase, right? Double taxation illa andre obviously economy will companies or investors will feel happy and they are going to invest more, right? So India has signed double taxation avoidance agreement, had signed double taxation avoidance agreement 80s alle ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ with Mauritius. It's a tax haven. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಕಡೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕಬಾರದು ಅಂತ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. But this was misused, actually misused by the companies. How did they misuse? What they did was, see, there is company A. It was functioning in India. It is not paying any taxes, or it is paying genuinely the taxes. As let us assume it is genuinely paying the taxes. So round tripping andreno, what, see, this company is in India, so what does this company, so there is another company, let us say England company B. It is a England company, company B. So here is Mauritius. So what they do, they are going to invest via Mauritius to India. So illi the concept of place of effective management and all those things, origin rules also comes. Whereas this will be considered as Mauritius company because Mauritius in the investment aagta ide. So what happens, Indians also feel to do this. Indians also plan to do this. How do they do this? Indian company will go to Mauritius, set up a shell company, fake company, and then from that company they are going to invest in India. Round tripping. The capital goes out of the country and comes back to the country in order to avoid taxes. So because of DTAA, it leads to round tripping. Sumar varsha this happened actually for many years. So later what they do, they stop it. We'll discuss how it gets stopped later on. So these companies, shell box companies, are called mailbox companies. Shell companies are called mailbox companies. What is a mailbox? Why it is called a mailbox? See, mailbox andre anche pettige. You are going to put a mail in that, and somebody will come and take the mail out of it. So actually that box doesn't have any utility per se, because it just acts as a platform. So this shell company also acts like a platform where money comes and goes. So it is called mailbox companies. India has signed double taxation avoidance agreement with 88 countries. 88 countries jothe India has the double taxation avoidance agreement. Right? Next, rationalization of DTA. I told you, DTA has lot of disadvantages. Lot of disadvantages are there. So it needs to be corrected. It needs to be rationalized. How do we rationalize it? Mauritius jate we signed a limitation treaty, limitation of benefit treaty, and we are going to sign in 2016. So our treaty prakara, what happens after 2017? After 2017, March 31st, we are not going to give you the benefit of DTAA. DTAA ends March 21st or March 31st, 2017 in the DTA ends anta this benefit, this DTA agreement na stop ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So but 2017 March 31st ಮುಂಚೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಡೆದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, those are grandfathered ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. Till that date, whatever round tripping, whatever happens, let it happen. Government is least bothered. But after that date, no round tripping, nothing. DTA benefits is limited. So allivargu baro inna we are doing grandfathering it. So what does a grandfather do? They protect us. Likewise, till March 31st, 2017, whatever the investment is there, whether it is legal, illegal, that will be protected anta government gives assurance. So next, 2016 alli what we are signing? We are signing limitations of benefit treaty, limitation of benefit. So the concept of treaty shopping is very, very important. Treaty shopping. So you know the concept of shopping, right? Shopping means what? You go to a mall or somewhere, wherever you find cheap and best quality, you are going to buy that. So even these companies, international MNCs or Indian companies, what they do, they also do shopping, treaty shopping or tax shopping. Which country has the least tax? They are going to go and shop there. Did you get the concept of treaty shopping? Which country has the least minimum taxes? There they are going to invest. So this concept of treaty shopping is actually bad. Right? So treaty shopping is discouraged under LOB, limitation of benefit, and also this, whatever DTA, it is completely stop agilla. Genuine Mauritius residents irtaralla. Mauritius alle utti beledirtakanta residents, avrige this benefit is there. Genuine residents have the benefit, but not outsiders. England, France, USA cannot route their money or reroute their money via Mauritius. Right? Next, money laundering. Money laundering is stopped. I have told you what is money laundering. Hawala transactions, laundering the money from one place to another, saving it in places where there is least transparency. Yeah. So limitation of money benefits treaty also stops the money laundering. These companies launder the money in order to avoid paying taxes. Right. Next, we have the concept of general anti-avoidance rules, GAR. I told you, under DTA, companies avoid paying taxes. Yes. In order to avoid that avoidance, companies are avoiding paying taxes. In order to go against that avoidance, we have general anti-avoidance rules. Very, very important. So under this, what is done? What is being done? So those who are avoiding taxes illegally, for them, tax benefits are not given. Tax benefits irutala, tax expenditure, tax benefits andre concessions, exemptions, and also DTA benefits. All these things are not given to tax avoiders. Tax benefit is denied to avoiders. First point. Next, till March 2017, no GAR. Why? Because grandfathering will happen. Till March 2017, GAR will not apply, because till then there is a grandfathering clause. Right? Tax benefit. Tax benefit is to, when does GAR apply? GAR, when does it get applied? If the tax concession is more than 3 crore, you are claiming tax concession of more than 3 crore rupees. Yes? Then it comes under the provision of GAR. Allivargu up to 3 crore, GAR will not apply. You make a profit of, or your taxation is up to 2.5 crore. GAR will not apply. 3 crore ginta mele you are taking exemption, then this avoidance rules will come. Avaga there will be stringent checking, stringent background check. Are you really avoiding? Are you really claiming the tax benefit? All these things, right? So this is done to curb the tax evasion. Tax evasion ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, those who evade the taxes. So some, just like how criminals evade police, evade the police from arresting them. Similarly, companies evade the tax. So GAR alli it is going to curb the tax evasion, right? And also, illi there is a concept of look through than look at. What is the concept of look at and look through? See, the look at concept andre, look at it andre, you are just looking the outside. If you just look at the outside, there is no illegality, because Indian company can go to Mauritius and come back. What is wrong in that? If it is, if British can do it, why can't Indians anta? Look at concept. But government applies the concept of look through. Look through andre, you see through it. Adrolaginda nodidre, actually there is tax evasion. So for that we have to apply the taxes. Anta, this concept of look through will come. So government, general GAR anta bandre, you have to know the concept of look through and look at, right? Along with that, you have this, for one famous example is the Vodafone case. So in 2008, actually what happens, there will be a company called Vodafone Achisar. Achisar, SX Achisar or something is there. So it was called as HUTCH. Achisar SR or something, the name is. So there used to be that pug dog used to go in the advertisement. So that is the Hutch company. Okay. So this Hutch company got itself sold to Vodafone. So what they do, in order to avoid the taxes, see, illi, if they did it within India, if they had signed the agreement, take over, if the company was taken over within India, yeah, if the dilution or transfer of ownership was done within India, there was taxation, they were susceptible to taxes. But in order to avoid the taxes, what they do, same agreement they are going to sign in outside India. Same agreement they will sign outside India in order to avoid the taxes. But where is the functioning happening? It is happening in India. Actual function happens in India. But just the agreement is signed outside. So government applies the concept of POEM, place of effective management, and imposes taxes on Vodafone. Some crores together of taxes were imposed on Vodafone. So recently also, 1 or 2 years also, the case was running in Supreme Court. Case was running in Supreme Court. I think recently the Supreme Court gave a favorable judgment in for Vodafone. Retrospective taxation. I told you what is retrospective taxation. So financial rules 2012 prakara the taxation happens. The rules come in 2012, but transaction has happened in 2008. So retrospectively, indina date inda you are applying the tax anta Vodafone had filed a case, right? So that is the concept of Vodafone case. Next, place of effective management I have discussed. Where the company is effectively managing. That is the concept of place of effective management. This place of effective management concept comes in Finance Act. So what is a Finance Act? What is a Finance Bill? Appropriation Act, Appropriation Bill. All these things I have discussed in Indian polity. Yes. So Finance Act 2013 prakara this concept comes, and idralli it is applicable to Indian resident companies. Indian resident companies. If a company is resident in India, if it is functioning in India, then these rules apply. Within the boundary of India, they should be functioning. They should have some work. Then this place of effective management will apply, right? And it is used to target the shell companies. Shell companies is duplicate companies. Duplicate companies outside. Adana target madadike this place of effective management, where the function is happening. You might set up the headquarters somewhere. In that headquarters, there might be just one table and chair. But where is the actual manufacturing taking place? That is the concept of POEM. So it is used to target the shell companies. Next, you have OECD and digital tax. This is one example where what I am giving. OECD, I have told you the full form of OECD, and digital tax. What is digital tax? Which are the digital companies? So all this Facebook, Twitter, Apple, all these companies are digital. Microsoft, yeah, all these companies are digital companies upon which digital tax is imposed. So OECD countries, though alli enagta ittu tax evasion agta ittu. So OECD countries, what they do, they impose the digital tax. They also take up a similar provision of POEM or POEM. So they also say where the business is there, tax should be imposed. Business actual agi elli naditide, that their tax should be imposed, and the OECD says in the concept of digital tax, right? Okay. Next, Tax information exchange agreement. Tax information. How much tax we are paying? What is the tax rate? What are the companies that are paying tax? What are the Indian companies that are paying tax in USA? What are the US companies that are paying taxes in India? Has any company evaded the taxes? What is the tax exemption they have claimed? Have they stored any illegal money? All these tax related information is exchanged as per this agreement. Tax information exchange agreement, right? So it leads to international cooperation. Alva? The cooperation among the countries increase if we have this agreement. Alva? So tax cooperation increases among the countries. There is an international cooperation according to this agreement. So India has signed 21 tax information exchange agreement. 21. If any Indians are gotten illegal money and they have signed it, they have saved it in some other country. E21 countries are, they have to give the tax information, and in turn our residents we have to give them tax information. This is the concept of tax information. So I'll give you an example to better understand this. There is this concept of mutual legal assistance treaty. Mutual legal assistance treaty. According to this treaty, what happens? There is this concept of extradition. Extradition. Extradition andre no. Indian does some crime and goes and hides in Britain. Vijay Mallya, Mehul Choksky, all these people, they go and hide in some foreign country. We have to extradite him to India. That is done as per this mutual legal assistance treaty. So legally, that is the case. Extradition andre tax ali TIA. It is similar. Yes. So and also there is a convention. You can quote this convention when it comes to tax matters. Convention on mutual administrative assistance in tax matters. Convention. It is a convention. It is not an agreement. It is a belief or a rules which we follow generally. Convention on mutual administrative assistance. Administration is going to assist each other in tax matters. Tax matters. If somebody signs this convention, then they are bound to do it. This is the concept. Next, we'll move towards transfer pricing and APA. I have told you yesterday what is transfer pricing. See, there is a let us take the example of Vodafone itself. Vodafone. And there is Indian subsidiary is called Vodafone India, right? Or Vodafone Idea. Idea is only partnered in India, not world over. Indian company is called Vodafone Idea. Yes. So, what they do andre, India dalli tax jasti ide anta they are going to show less profits in India. Less profits are shown in India. Ireland alli, let us say their headquarters is there, they are going to show high profits. Profit source lebekala, or else how are they going to utilize? If you show the profit, then only it is white money. So Ireland alli they are going to show huge profit, India alli they are going to show less profit. So in order to show the profit, what they do, certain products, certain things. Andre, see, let us say this company is going to pay for auditors. Vodafone India is going to pay for auditors. Yeah. Or it is going to spend on something. There are some products. Our products nella Vodafone Ireland transfer madbidutte. And they are going to transfer. Vodafone India has some product. Yes. That product will be sold to Vodafone World, let us consider, or Vodafone Ireland at a very less price. Yes, in order to avoid the taxes. Adannu ill sale madidre tax jasti agutalla. So they are going to sell it to Vodafone Ireland, alli profit na tostare. So this is called as transfer pricing. Transfer of products from subsidiary to parent or parent company to subsidiary in order to avoid taxes. Transfer pricing. So idralli it is similar to BEPS, base erosion and profit shifting. Hege base erode aagtade, similarly products are getting eroded from India alla. And also subsidiary sells goods to parent company or vice versa. I told you, vice versa. Ivaga, either it may take place in domestic arena or internationally. Domestic agbodu, within the sale might take place within India or internationally, right? So these are the two things. So India has a transfer pricing code. With respect to this, India has a transfer pricing code. If you are transferring some goods from your subsidiary to parent or parent to subsidiary, you have to do it according to transfer pricing code. Adra outside madre, there will be penalty. So, I told you, they are shifting the profit, right? They are shifting the profit from India to foreign company in order to avoid taxes. That is why under transfer pricing, they are shifting the profit. Yenike, corporate tax is high. Corporate tax is high, so less profit is shown. All these points I have told. Yes, and also it is leading to tax evasion and money laundering. India ge loss taxes. And also money is being laundered. Money laundering, andre, I have told you. Without paying the taxes, illegally you are transferring the money somewhere else. It is leading to money laundering. So, hagagi, there is a solution for that. That is called Advance Pricing Agreement. APA. Advance Pricing Agreement. What is APA? Andre? See, understand the etymology. Etymology andre, what the word means. Advance. So, before the selling of goods, before the selling of goods take place, prices will be fixed. Andre, Vodafone India is selling goods to Vodafone Ireland. Before selling of the goods, Vodafone India will contact the revenue department or the finance ministry and fix the rate that I am going to sell the product to my parent company at this rate, and you should not come in between. You should not come in between. Rate is fixed. So that is advance pricing. Prices is fixed. Advance pricing agreement, APA, right? So illi arm's length price or no sweetheart price. Arm's length price. Andre, you can sell your goods to parent company. There is no issue. But that should not be done in such a way in order to avoid taxes, right? So adike what this APA says, you treat your parent company just like any other company. See, Vodafone India, Vodafone Ireland, some goods they are selling. Would they sell the same good to some other company at the same price? No. They are doing it because to avoid taxes. They might even give free. So, some other company, they will charge the proper money. So, hagagi, this, according to this APA, they say you treat your parent company from arm's length. Arm's length andre one kai udda. Andre, treat your parent company as some other company and sell the product. Then we don't have any issue, right? So, arm's length principle. Yes. So, also no sweetheart price. Andre, your parent is not your sweetheart to give it concession or free. So, our principle prakara you are going to do it. So, illenagate government and business will negotiate. I told you, Vodafone India will negotiate with the finance ministry. So, government to business, there is a negotiation. Igagadrinda, what it does, there is certainty to taxpayers. Companies, there is proper certainty or sure, they will have proper confidence that government will not go against us. Amele, they are not going to come and file cases against us because we have already made the agreement. So this is the concept of advance price agreement, and each agreement is signed for 5 years. Agreements are signed for a term of 5 years. Yes? Okay. Next you have the concept of Tobin tax. Tobin tax. What is Tobin tax? Tobin tax ali foreign exchange transaction. See, foreign exchange is coming into India, comes to India, and foreign exchange goes out of India. So both on the foreign exchange coming into India and foreign exchange, foreign money going out of India, there should be some tax anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ಜೇಮ್ಸ್ ಟೊಬಿನ್ ಅನ್ನೋನು ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಟೊಬಿನ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್. ಫಾರಿನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮೇಲೆ, ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ we have to impose this tax. Why? Because foreign exchange is called hot money. Hot money andre it will come with the same fast it is going to disappear. At the same speed it is going to come, with the same speed it is going to disappear from the country. So in order to curb that speculative investment, Tobin tax is imposed. Tobin tax. So check speculative flow ge we are going to invest. So long term if somebody is investing for 15 years, 20 years their money into India, then Tobin tax need not be applied. But short term, yes. Short term it is going to lead to what? Speculative investment. So Tobin tax should be imposed anta heltare. So this will reduce the exchange rate volatility. Exchange rate volatility means what? Exchange rate, that is $1 is 75 rupees. Yeah. So what if the dollar will be 60 rupees today, 80 rupees tomorrow, 90 rupees day after, and again comes back to 70? There is volatility, right? Volatility, and the price is not fixed. It is moving. Yeah. So to avoid that volatility, ಯಾವಾಗ ವಾಲೆಟೈಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ದುಡ್ಡು ಪಟಾಪಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಪಟಾಪಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್, ದೆನ್ ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವಾಲೆಟಾಲಿಟಿ. ಅದೇನೆ ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಯುಲೇಟಿವ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಾಲೆಟಾಲಿಟಿ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ದೇರ್. ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಇನ್ ವಾಲೆಟಾಲಿಟಿ. ಎಸ್, ಓಕೆ. So it is applicable twice. When it is applicable, once when the money comes into India and once when the money goes out of India. So why this Tobin tax is important? South Asian crisis, I told you, Southeast Asian tiger economies, 1977. So entire economy was dependent on foreign money, foreign capital. Suddenly 1977 US interest rate gets hiked, all the money goes out. So in order to curb that Southeast Asian crisis ರೀತಿ crisis ಆಗಬಾರದು ಅಂತ Tobin tax is imposed. Yes. And also India doesn't prefer this tax. Why India doesn't prefer this tax? See, first of all, foreign money coming to India is needed. We need foreign money. Adra mele if we are imposing Tobin tax, foreign money will not come at all. So India doesn't prefer this Tobin tax. But some countries are imposing tax on financial transactions mele. Financial transaction tax. Some financial transactions mele, foreigners do some financial transaction, there they are imposing this FTT, that is a form of Tobin tax. And also it is called Robin Hood tax. Robin Hood tax, and what Robin used to do? Take money from rich, give it to poor. So it is called take money from foreign investors and give it to domestic investors. So it is also called Robin Hood tax. India dali we don't impose it directly, but indirectly we are imposing STT ಮತ್ತೆ CTT, security transaction tax and commodity transaction tax. I told you, securities andre shares, equity, bonds. Alli transaction andre there we are imposing taxes. Commodities, just like share, commodity transaction andre we are imposing commodity transaction tax. That is a form of Tobin tax in India. Next you have Pigovian tax. Pigovian tax andre pollution mele if you are putting a tax, negative things mele if you are putting a tax, then it is called a Pigovian tax. Your fossil fuel alva, so least environment friendly vehicles irtala aur mele tax ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು, because those buggers are spoiling the environment. Yeah. So Pigovian tax on those products and those processes where there is negative externality, there is negative outcome of that activity. So we have carbon tax. Carbon tax is there in India. So that is ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಸೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. We collect this cess, carbon emission cess. That is a Pigovian tax. You buy a vehicle in Delhi, they collect carbon emission cess. Yeah, that is a Pigovian tax. Then it is based on the concept of polluter pays. You are polluting the environment, you pay for it. Pigovian tax is based on polluter pays principle. Yes. So this is with respect to taxation. Now we will move towards goods and services tax. Goods and services tax. 2017 it was introduced in India. So it is based on the principle of one nation, one taxation system, and it applies to indirect taxes only. Indirect taxes only. So products, if you are going to buy, there will be CGST, SGST. They will be shown. Both are equal. CGST ಜಾಸ್ತಿ, SGST ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರಲ್ಲ. No, both are equal. If CGST is 5 rupees, SGST will 5 rupees. So it is made why? To simplify the tax process. Earlier what used to happen? Every state had different taxes. VAT ಅಂತ ಇತ್ತು. VAT. Every state used to have different taxes. One product you buy. See, even today, see, is petrol under GST? No. So even today, if you go to Tamil Nadu, Hosur border, if you go to Tamil Nadu, the petrol price is different compared to Bangalore. So everywhere the prices are different. So in order to stop that discrimination, in order to create one nation, one market, one nation, one tax, one nation, one market, we have bought in this goods and services tax. There were multiplicity of taxes. Multiplicity. Custom tax, custom duty, additional custom duty, excise duty, additional excise duty, special excise duty, yeah, service tax, sales tax, VAT, entertainment tax, octroi. So many taxes were there. Actually, people used to get confused. Never ever anyone questioned, why are you imposing this tax on us? Because first of all, it is confusing. A tax, there used to be a list. Product, e-tax is to now only 2 lines. CGST this much, SDST this much. Multiplicity of taxes, multiple taxes. So that is why that was removed. One. Next, cascading effect. Cascading effect. Andre, see, you are buying a car. Assume you are buying a car. Okay. You are buying a car. Illi, when you are buying a car, first what it is needed? First iron is needed. Iron. Iron melt tax haktare. Rubber is needed to make the tires. Adru melt tax haktare. Assembly. Wire gal beku, adru melt tax haktare. Plastic is needed, fiber is needed, adru mele tax haktare, software is needed, headlights are needed. Every product they will put taxes, and also assembly madon the profit, human resource, labor, coolie, adru mele tax haktare. Adella, after all these, when they sell the car, then also they put taxes. So there will be a series of taxes. Every tax. See, what I am saying is, you are labor, let us say iron chassis of the car, chassis. Adru mele you have put the tax already here. Isn't it unfair that you are putting the tax on the same thing again here? Final product alli chassis involve agiralva. Illu you are putting the taxes on chassis, illu you are putting the taxes on chassis. So the taxes were getting accumulated by each level. Raw material in the assembly level, assembly in the painting level, painting in the showroom level, showroom in the consumer level. The taxes, illi impose agire taxes illiga agta ittu, ade tax mele matte tax agta idru, adru mele matte tax. The taxes were getting cascaded. Cascaded means integrated. Same thing, taxing again and again. So many levels, more the tax. Did you get the concept of cascading of taxes? So that was happening in GST. I mean, before GST. That was adukoskara. Then variations. Every state had different sales tax, VAT. Every state had different. So is actually against the concept of unity of India, alva. You buy a car in Pondicherry, you buy a car in Bangalore, the prices are different. So isn't it? Suppose Pondicherry, it is a centrally administered territory, union territory, so the prices are less. Karnataka consumers, isn't it disadvantageous? Isn't it unfair? Yes. So to curb all this, and also exemptions, some states used to give exemptions to their consumers. There, but other states were not giving. Yeah, and also South India, the tax that you used to get collected in South India is huge. All these taxes were spent in North India. Isn't it exempting the North India from taxes? Yeah. So all this along with that slabs, tax slab. Tax slab means the rate of tax. The rate at which tax is imposed is called a tax slab. Tax slab used to differ across the states. One state or one slab is there, inno state or inno slab is that is there. And also there was lot of tax evasion. Because of all these reasons, GST law was brought in. GST law was brought in, and the Amendment Act is 101st Constitutional Amendment Act. 101st Constitutional Amendment Act martivi. Along with that, we will bring in CGST Act, CGST Act and IGST Act. Central will bring these two statutory provisions and one constitutional amendment. Along with that, states will bring in SGST Act. State Goods Services Act na every state will promulgate or pass. Right? Short history of GST. GST munche enittu. One, earlier there was a concept of VAT, value added tax. This was brought in by Manmohan Singh, the greatest economist of India. VAT, and what they used to do? VAT only value added tax. I told you, no, from each level value is getting added, right? Illi bari chassis ididu, illi products assembly agirutte, illi painting agutte. Every level value is getting added. That was tried to be, cascading of effect was tried to be addressed through VAT. ಇದನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾಡಿಫೈಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಮಾಡಿಫೈಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಟ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸೆನ್ ವ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್. ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸೈಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ. ಎಕ್ಸೈಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಅಪಾನ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸೈಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ ಇಸ್ ಇಂಪೋಸ್ಡ್. ಎಕ್ಸೈಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾಟ್ ಅಬ್ಕಾರಿ ಇಲಾಖೆ, ಎಕ್ಸೈಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ, ಎಕ್ಸೈಸ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸೈಸ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಆಲ್ಕೋಹಾಲ್, ಎಕ್ಸೈಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಸೆನ್ ವ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ಸೇಲ್ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇಂಪೋಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಡೂ, ದೇ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಕಾಲಿಂಗ್ ದೇರ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಟ್. ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇದಾಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆನ್ ವ್ಯಾಟ್, ವ್ಯಾಟ್ ಇಂದ ಶುರುವಾಗಿದ್ದು ಮಾಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಟ್ ಇಂದ ಸೆನ್ ವ್ಯಾಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಕಾಲಿಂಗ್ ದೇರ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಟ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಡೂ, ಇನ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಟು ಕರ್ಬ್ ದ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್, ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಕಾಲಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸೈಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ ಅಗೈನ್. ಎಕ್ಸೈಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ. ಸೊ GST ಮುಂಚೆ the status was there was excise duty and also VAT. This was the status. So why there is a need for GST? I told you the need. There is a need for one market, one nation, one market. That is the first need. Then I told you multiplicity of taxes were there. That is one need. Then to make this tax process, simplified, tax process na simplify madadike we have brought in the GST. Along with that, to increase the tax base, we have brought in the, andre, see, before GST I told you lot of products were outside taxation. So now because of GST the base is increased. Lot of products which were not taxed are now taxed. And to increase the buoyancy, what is buoyancy? I have told, not fiancé, buoyancy. Buoyancy means when growth increases, tax should increase, tax collection should increase. Along with growth, with the tax increases, that is called tax buoyancy, right? Tax buoyancy increases, costs will come down. Costs. Cascading effect, now if we remove, for whom it is advantageous? Consumers it is advantageous because they are going to get the products at less price. Yes, costs. Next, competitive export. It is going to make the export competitive. Product, prices kadme adre definitely export competitiveness will increase. Then also it will curb the black money. GST will curb the black money. These are the needs of the GST. Nature of GST. What is the nature? It is a comprehensive law. What do you mean by comprehensive? Comprehensive means all included. All the taxes are included. Now consumer doesn't have any confusion. CGST, SGST. Yes, that's all. Is the GST applicable on petrol? No. Is it applicable on export? No. GST is not applicable on export. Export and import mele GST illa. Export and import, we are still using customs duty and exports duty. Yes. Okay. It is applicable only within India. Next, nature. It is a multi-stage tax. Multi-stage. I told you the production, multi-stage. Every stage the tax get added, consumer finally pays. So, ಇವರು ಕಬ್ಬಣನ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಐರನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇವರು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಪೇ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಗೈನ್ ಈ ಚಾಸಿಸ್ ನ ಬೈ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಕಂಪನಿಯವನು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಪೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಐರನ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇವರಿಗೆ ದ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಪೇಡ್ ದ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್. You have already paid the tax. Consumer will also pay the tax. Producer will also pay the tax. Consumer will also pay the tax. So government get double benefit. So in order to stop that, producer will get input tax credit, ITC. Input tax credit na kodtare. Andre excess tax collection agiruttalla, illu collect agirutte tax, illu collect agirutte, illu collect agirutte, illi final ago collect agutte. So these are all excess tax government ge, because it is already collected once here. Why are you collecting everywhere? So ivrige government will give input tax credit, ITC. Yes, that is one thing. Next, it is destination based. Suppose a product is being manufactured in Karnataka, it is sold in Tamil Nadu. So the tax is imposed in Tamil Nadu, not Karnataka. It is destination based. Then the burden of tax. Burden of tax will not fall on the producer, it falls on the consumer. Right? Tax entire burden we have to bear. Producers mele enu burden irala, because they are getting input tax credit. And also exports, I told you, not included under GST. Imports are also not included. Next, gain for manufacturing state. So I told you Karnataka is exporting, but Karnataka gain profit too. What is the profit? One is our market will increase. Market increase agutte ashte. Correct, tax will go to Tamil Nadu, but our market, the more and more production will happen. Destinational product sale aagta ide, but production alli there will be lot of production. Obviously, right? If Tamil Nadu is a destination state, our products are selling there and they are getting more profit. They are getting more tax because of Karnataka product. They are going to promote Karnataka product there, right? So havaga our market will increase. That is the first thing. Next, second thing is Karnataka manufacturers they will get input tax credit. Input tax credit they will get. It will not go to Tamil Nadu. And the third thing is IGST. See, when the product Karnataka le manufacture agi Karnataka le sale adre, then CGST and CGST and SGST will follow, apply. CGST and SGST. Adene, the product gets manufactured in Karnataka and gets sold in Andhra Pradesh or Tamil Nadu. Then CGST and IGST will apply. IGST, at least SGST apply agala. Yeah. So, here IGST it is collected by the center. IGST na they are going to give to Karnataka because you are manufacturing, so you take it. So that is the benefit for the manufacturing state. I told you CGST is there, IGST is there, SGST. What is SGST, IGST, CGST I have discussed. Next, under an constitutional amendment pakara, we do it, right? GST and center state financial relations. Center state financial relations ಏನಿದೆ? See, according to the constitution, 7th schedule, there is proper division of subjects. Union list, state list, concurrent list. Union list items, only the center can impose taxes. State list subjects, only the states can impose taxes, right? Similarly, illu kuda center state go financial relations are, but illi there is one catch. What is the catch andre? See, earlier it was easy. Central list center tax hakkoloru, illi state or hakkoloru. Now same product CGST is also applying, SGST is also applying. See, earlier only sales ididre state list product idre only say state used to impose the taxes, center had no role. Central list idre only center used to impose taxes. But now on the same product, both the taxes are getting imposed. So constitutionally there is no provision for this. Same product mele center state ibru ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕೋದು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಡೂ ಅಂಡರ್ 101 ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನಲ್ ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಎನ್ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ 246A. ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ದೇ ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಎನ್ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ 246A ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್, both center and state can impose the taxes on the same products, whether it is in state list or union list, doesn't matter. According to this article, right? Pre-GST position, what was there? I told you, there was excise duty, sales tax, central sales tax, services tax, customs duty, additional customs duty, yes, and also there used to be additional customs duty. All these taxes are there earlier. So many taxes, right? And also entertainment tax, octroi, yeah, all these taxes were there earlier. So all these things are reduced to just 2 to 3 taxes: CGST, IGST, SGST. GST Council. See, earlier center tax used to be decided by center, state tax used to be decided by the states. Now both are deciding the taxes. So which is the authority which is going to decide? Which is the authority? Center state mix agiro on authority irbeka, because both are imposing the taxes, both should decide. That authority is the GST Council. GST Council is the authority. Yes. So according to this GST Council, see, GST Council it is a constitutional body, because constitutional amendment ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Just like 246A, they bring in 279A article na tandi GST Council na ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. What is the representation of GST Council? There will be Union Finance Minister, who is the chairman, then Union Minister of State for Revenue, and all the states finance ministers, and also the ministers of finance from the Union Territory of Delhi, Puducherry and Jammu and Kashmir. This is the composition of GST Council. Idral voting eno, center will have 1/3 voting. 100% vote ittu andre 1/3 voting is done by center and 2/3 voting is done by states together. Amele generally it works on the principle of consensus. It works on the principle of consensus. Andre odambadike mulka they can they arrive at a solution. But now recent times some issues are happening between center and state. That is why they are adhering to voting. Voting again, they are depending on voting principle. Yes. Okay. So rates. What are the rates? There are 5 slabs. What are the 5 slabs? 0%, 5%, 12%, 18%, 28%. These are the 5 slabs. 0, 5, 12, 18 and 28. These are the 5 slabs under which taxes are imposed. Then there are some exemptions also. Exemptions. What are the exemptions? Suppose 40 lakh ginta your turnover is less than 40 lakh. Your business, you are doing a business. If the turnover is less than 40 lakh, then you are exempted from paying GST. 40 lakh in the kadame idre, there is a exemption from GST. And also, that is one thing. And also exemption only, actually one more concept. Electricity, petroleum, all are exempted from it. GST Council cannot decide on petroleum and electricity, real estate, all these things, aviation, turbine fuel, diesel. GST Council cannot decide. Then there is a limit. They impose the limit. Andre, this product, only this much should be the taxation limit. It cannot exceed that taxation limit. They impose the limit, and also they impose the bindingness. See, whatever the GST Council decides, it is binding. GST Council ain't decide madate, it is binding on the all the states and center. Next, members, I have told you who are the members, right? Next, so it is getting too much congested. Let me clear it. Okay. Constitutional Amendment Act 101, 2016. Changes in madru constitutionally. I told you the changes. 246A article was brought in. 279A article was brought in. These were the changes in the constitution because of introduction of GST. Yes. So these two changes, and also there is one change with respect to article 269A. 269A deals with services, service tax. So service tax now comes under GST. So 269A stands abolished. So these three changes, right? Next, voting in the GST Council, I told you it is based on consensus. Majorly it is based on consensus, and there is weightage. The weightage is 2/3, 1/3. 2/3 for all the states combined together, 1/3 exclusively for the center. Then, what are the functions? Functions andre subsuming the taxes. I told you, no, there were so many taxes. Everything is subsumed into CGST or SGST now. Subsuming is done by this GST Council. Exemption of taxes. What are the taxes that are, what are the products that are exempted from GST? That is mandated by the GST Council. What are the products that are exempted? As of now, I told you, crude oil, all those things. Next, laws, GST laws, CGST, IGST, SGST laws. Adr mel recommendation kodutte GST Council. Turnover, I told you, 40 lakh in the kadme idre, there is no GST. That is told by the GST Council. Along with that, it decides the slabs. Slabs, 5 slab idiyala. It can increase the slabs or decrease the slab or fix the price of the particular slab. That is one thing. Then, disasterally, it is going to collect more taxes. GST Council, yenaru disaster aitu, cyclone aitu, earthquake aitu, landslide aitu, volcano aitu. Under all these conditions, GST can impose excess taxes in order to solve the disaster crisis, right? Along with that, Northeast ge, illi see, turnover, illi 40 lakh idre, GST exemption, illi 20 lakh ige ide GST exemption. Turnover 20 lakh idrunu, they need not pay any GST. Yes? Okay. Next, petroleum. Petroleum products, whenever GST Council decides, then only the taxation will happen on petrol. GST Council will decide on that, and also it decides on the disputes. Disputes between states and states, disputes between center and states with respect to financial matters is decided by the GST Council, and also it awards compensation. Why there is compensation? Actually, there is a proper GST Compensation Act 2017, according to which center is mandated to give 5 years compensation to states, because of which center has imposed additional cess. Compensation cess anta impose madide upon consumers for 5 years. Why this compensation? I told you, Karnataka is selling a product, Tamil Nadu is buying the product. Here, Karnataka, there is no tax. It is not getting any tax. So, all these states, so Karnataka, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, all these are manufacturing states. They are manufacturing, they are good in manufacturing. So, when they are bound to lose tax, because it is a destination based tax, these manufacturing states are bound to lose tax revenue. In order to compensate the tax revenue, this Compensation Act was passed. We will compensate for 5 years. Center will compensate for 5 years. But within that 5 years, the center, I mean the states who are the producer states, they have to find a way. They have to find a way in order to get more taxes. They have to find new resources for taxes. 5 years they can sit on the centers as a assurance, right? Next, we have the concept of tax slabs and under GST. I have discussed the tax slabs. 0, 12, 18, 0, 5, 12, 18 and 28. Then taxes merged into GST, I told that one also: excise duty, service tax, customs duty, sales tax, entertainment tax, octroi. All these things are merged into GST. Next, GST and revenue neutral rate. What is GST and revenue neutral rate? So see, under GST, see, sorry, under GST, government is getting some revenue. Earlier they were getting some revenue. Some, let us say, some less revenue. Now they are getting more revenue. So this revenue neutral rate says that you should not get more revenue because it will be burden for consumers. So you should devise the GST in such a way that the revenue is neutral. Revenue what you are getting is neutral. So setting the GST rate at such a rate that you are not getting any excess revenue, no excess revenue compared to previous. This is the revenue neutral rate, right? Revenue rate bandre, there is one is standard rate is there. The standard rate at which taxes are imposed is called standard rate. Then there is fitment rate. Fitment rate andre, it is excess revenue. Excess revenue bandre yavadadru rate na increase ಮಾಡಿ excess revenue bandre, then it is called fitment rate. Revenue neutral rate andre, government is getting not getting any revenue, excess revenue, that is revenue neutral rate, right? So this is the concept of revenue neutral rate. GST in the excess revenue should not come to the government. So that rate is called revenue neutral rate. This is the concept. Next, dual GST. Dual GST, I told you, CGST, SGST. That is the dual GST. Yes. Then GST compensation to states act. I told you what is advantage. See, GST. GST is advantageous for consuming states. Consuming states it is not, producing states it is not going to help. That is why, in order to compensate for the excess, the central government has levied additional cess. It has levied additional cess in order to compensate the states, right? Along with that, GST and cross empowerment. What is the concept of GST and cross empowerment? Who is collecting the GST? Anta? Who will collect the GST? So do you think SGST is collected by state, CGST is collected by center? No. See, why this cross empowerment andre? See, let us say CGST is collected by the center and SGST is collected by the state. So the person who is paying the GST, he has to interact with state authorities also, central authorities also. Central tax department go hogi, he has to pay the taxes. State tax department go hogi, he has to pay the SGST. So in order to reduce that, double interaction irbardu. There should be only single interaction, single window. So what they have decided is, in order to reduce the interaction, they have fixed a limit up to 1.5 crore vargu. The limit, if the limit is up to 1.5 crore, below 1.5 crore income irovrge, the GST will be collected by states. 90% of the cases, 1.5 crore kelagiro income, 90% of the cases, the GST will be handled by the states. Rest 10% will be handled by the center. Rest 10% will be handled by the center, right? More than 1.5 crore itta turnover or tax which is being imposed, then it is handled by both the center and state in the 50-50 ratio. 50% cases will go to center, 50% will go to states. This is the concept of GST and cross empowerment. Yes. Next, anti-profiteering clause of GST. What is anti-profiteering clause? See, because of GST, it actually profited a lot to the retailers. Vyaparigalige, GST was a lot of benefit. Why? Because they are getting input tax credit. They are not paying any taxes. We are paying the taxes, indirect tax. More than that, they are getting input tax credit. Moreover that, because of GST, their taxes income, their income has increased. Right? So what the government says, this benefit, what you are getting, retailers or wholesalers, sellers, what the benefit you are getting, you should pass it to the consumers. You have to reduce your price. Anta. So if you are not reducing the price, then it will lead to excess profiteering, just like revenue neutral rate tara. Illi retailers are getting excess profit. So you have to pass on your benefit to the consumers. If you don't pass it, you will be there will be a penalty for it. We will impose a penalty, and the government has what? That is the anti-profiteering clause. The retailers or wholesalers should not make any illegal profit. They should reduce the rate. That is the concept. Next, to manage this, there is a National Anti-Profiteering Authority. National Anti-Profiteering Authority. This checks the sellers. You can suppose, let's say before GST, you are for a product, let us say some deodorant, you are paying 100 rupees. So after GST, you are paying the same 100 rupees. However, before GST, the product used to come to the retailer for 80 rupees. Now it is coming for 70 rupees for him. So he is benefiting excess 10 rupees. When you get to know, you can complain to. They will impose the penalty. Next, GST network. So it is the backbone of the GST. GST collection, where all GST is collected. Everything is managed by the GST network. Earlier, it is a not-for-profit organization. It is a not-for-profit company. It is registered under Companies Act 2013. So, Section 2018 kelage GST network is registered. It is the backbone network of GST. You have to go and pay GST. Where do you pay? You go to GST network. Yes, earlier the government was owning just 49%, 51% was with private entities. Now they have taken over 100%. 100% is with government. Now recent change with respect to GST network. It is the backbone network, right? Settlement mechanism. It has a settlement mechanism. What is settlement mechanism? So you are a consumer. You are a producer. Seller. You take the money from consumer. You are going to pay the GST. For a producer or a seller, you are paying the GST via the GST network. GST network, you are paying the GST. immediately within days you will get the income tax, input tax credit. Whatever the excess tax you have paid, Allah, that you will get as input tax credit within days, within some days. So this settlement is also done by the GST network. It is automated. It is automated, right? So this was done actually by Infosys, GST network na Infosys ಅವರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Then GST and petrol products, I told you petrol products. Whenever the GST council decides, they can impose tax on the petrol products. So ivaga petrol products alli, so how much is the tax? Petrol mele. So there is more than 50% of tax on petrol. Petrol is coming to India at 50 rupees. We are selling it at 75 rupees, 50% tax on petrol. Why states do not want petrol to be under GST? Why? See, under GST, which is the maximum rate? Highest rate under GST, highest tax slab, 28%. So, now they are getting 50% tax. States, 50% states aagtare, 50% aur aagtare central. States are getting 50% tax. Sorry, 50% including both center and states, right? So, if you put, idral ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಿಗ್ತಿದೆ ಗೌರವ ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗೆ approximately 30% they are getting. 20% goes to center. Yeah. So, suppose the states, they agree to the GST. The maximum that can be put is 28%. State gets by this. Since it is equal, states will get just 14%. So 30% only 14%. Their petrol revenue is going to reduce less than half. That is why states are opposing GST on petrol products. This is the reason. So what is the mechanism now? We have value added tax on petrol. Petrol mele we have value added tax. So that is why these petrol prices are different from different states. So it is good. It is good from consumer perspective that GST is imposed on petrol because it is going to reduce the cost for consumers. Yes? Okay. They can impose some extra cess. They can put some 28% tax on petrol. They can put 10% extra cess. Say, let's say they are, carbon emission cess on petrol. Right? By like that they can, because it is going to make the petrol price uniform. Throughout the Delhi, the petrol price is almost 10 to 15 rupees less than Karnataka. Yeah? Okay. Next, goods and service tax. You have the GST benefits. GST benefits small entrepreneurs and small traders. Yes, it does benefit. Earlier what happens? Nobody, the small traders, petty traders, never paid the GST. They never paid it. Now they are paying the GST because they are benefiting. They are getting input tax credit. They are getting input tax credit, and according to GST bandmele, their profits have also increased due to various reasons. Yes, ITC is one reason. So small traders, I told you, up to 40 lakh, there is no tax. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದಿದೆ, composition scheme. See, 40 lakh ಅಷ್ಟೇನಾ GST. After that, after 40 lakh, up to 1 crore. 1 to 1.5 crore tanka ide, up to 1.5 crore. Your turnover is 1.5 crore. You need not pay excess GST. Your GST is fixed under 1% aste. Up to 1.5 crore turnover idre per year, your GST is just 1% under the composition scheme. Compose everything. See, up to 1.5 crore turnover, there are a lot of products. Small bangles, earrings, pen, pencil, variety of products will be there. So, adr melela GST, if you keep calculating on small product, it is hectic for the government. Adrinda jasti, they are not going to get revenue also. Small things. What they do in order to settle it out, if you have 1.5 crore worth turnover, you just pay 1% GST and settle it off. No, nothing, no more calculation, nothing, no auditing, nothing. This is the concept of composition scheme. Yes? Okay. Next, compliance cost has reduced. Compliance cost has reduced. earlier in order to comply with the taxation, there was lot of cost. GST bandmele, you earlier they have to go to the tax authorities, pay the tax authorities, bribe them. Tax rate should be different. So many paperwork, lot of things, and your time will also get wasted. Now, just at the click of the button, you can pay the taxes. So compliance cost has reduced. Small traders, it has benefited. Petty traders, for them it has made, I told you, see, 90% of Indian economy is informal economy. Those companies which are not registered, after coming, many of the small traders after coming of GST, they have registered. So it has helped the economy to turn from informal economy to formal economy. I have told you what is the difference between formal and informal in my earlier classes. Next, you have the concept of a harmonized system of nomenclature in GST. See, there are variety of products. How do you identify the individual product? Just like you are given your Aadhaar, every product, suppose let's say bangles, or let's say pen. The pen is given a pens, every pen is given one nomenclature, HSN code. That if this is the HSN code, the product is pen anta, and the tax is different. Company melella depend agala. If it is a pen, HSN code is same. Yes? Okay. It is in GST, it is followed in GST. So actually idanna modlu bandidu World Customs Organization alli. Customs andrenu, import and export. So these customs authorities, in order to differentiate the various export and import products, they introduced this HSN code. More than 5,000 products in the world were bought under HSN code. This product, they cannot say, see, the packages will be sealed, export import alli. They wouldn't know what is inside. So adra mele HSN code print madirtare. So as soon as they get to know, see, this code, this bag contains rubber. This bag contains leather bag, something like that. It is a leather product. So HSN code, so it is a 6-digit code. Worldly, more than 5,000 products are under HSN code. Next, GST and composition scheme, I already told you. Composition means 1% tax up to 1.5 crore turnover. 40 lakh mele 1.5 crore kelage. Next, e-way bill. See, earlier, suppose a product being shipped by Goa to Tamil Nadu. They have to pass through check post of Goa, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. All these check post buggers used to take money. Corruption. They used to, amele, one more thing. In this check post, there will be long queues, big queues. In order to clear the check post only, you have to wait for 1 or 2 hours. Cars, they used to leave early, some 10 to 15 minutes. But lorries, they have to wait for hours together in order to clear the check post. So that is why all the check post inspectors have become crorepathi's. Yeah. So this e-way bill andre, as soon as you 5 kilometers, it's not 50 kilometers. I think, yes, it is more than 50 kilometers. Yes. If you are shipping a product more than 50 kilometers, illinda Vasuri, it is more than 50 kilometers. So immediately, if your product, as soon as you bill na ready marta idange, e-way bill bandubidutte. So that driver has to carry this e-way bill along with him. Whoever stops, check post, RTO, police, whoever stops, he has to show that e-way bill, that I have the license to carry this product from this particular state to this particular state. E-way bill immediately gets generated. Via e-way bill, we can track ellinda ellige hogta ide product anta. And also RFID, radio frequency ID. E-way bill alli RFID barutte. So just by scanning that RFID, you can know, the inspector just by RFID, e-way bill RFID iruttalla, just by scanning it, he will know where this product is coming from, where it is going, what is the cost of the product, what is this product, everything, every detail, what is the company, everything. So it includes RFID. GST and federalism. GST and federalism. Federalism andreno division of power between center and states. GST lu kuda there is division. There is SGST, CGST, IGST. So it is in sync with federalism. Though we say it is one nation, one market, and I am saying we are via GST we are proposing one nation, one market. But this is GST in synchronization with federalism. It is synchronized because it is making the federalism easy. It is pushing us towards cooperative federalism. Cooperative federalism atra namana push ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. GST and federalism. Yes? Okay. GST and fiscal autonomy issues. Fiscal autonomy issues. Fiscal autonomy means what? Autonomy means independence. Autonomy means independence. So fiscal autonomy and financial independence. See, earlier every state can impose the GST on their state products. State list alien products idre adra mele ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕಾದರೂ they could put the GST whatever they want. Now it is being decided by the Central Fiscal Council, GST Council. GST Council is deciding. So ಈ GST Council ಅಲ್ಲಿ there is excess representation of center. 1/3 ಅಷ್ಟೇ vote, but ruling party collude ಆದ್ರೆ they will pass the bill easily. So it is actually states are objecting that it is against our fiscal independence. It is impinging our financial independence. Anta states are objecting, and also they are objecting with respect to now during COVID there was no compensation proper that they are objecting. So there are so many objections from the state. Voting power ಬಗ್ಗೆ there is objection. Then decision making allo they are objecting. Decision making is actually concentrated in the center. GST Council is there, but actually it is concentrated in the center. So they are opposing there also, right? Okay. So next 5 years of GST. So we have come 5 years today to GST, and it includes 98% of products. 5 years agide today GST includes 98% of products, and there are 5 rates. 5 rates under GST. Okay, Laffer curve. I told you that day, Phillips curve. So this curve is also very, very important. What is Laffer curve andre? It is the curve between, one is the tax revenue, the other is tax rate. Tax rate. The curve between x-axis ಅಲ್ಲಿ tax rate ಇದೆ, y-axis ಅಲ್ಲಿ tax revenue ಇದೆ. The curve between tax rate and tax revenue is called as GST, I mean the Laffer curve. So Laffer curve ಅಲ್ಲಿ tax rate ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ರೆ revenue ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Obviously, right? Tax rate ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ರೆ the revenue that comes from tax is less. Tax rate ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ revenue increase ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Yes? But it increases beyond a threshold, then tax rate again decreases. It is a ulta U. Why after a certain, see, this you understand, this you know, tax rate kadme ide, tax revenue is less. But why after this point, the tax rate will start decreasing. See, when the tax rate becomes excess, people will stop paying taxes. Too much tax, who will pay? They will find alternative ways, tax evasion, tax avoiding. So tax rate just again tax revenue will less. So it is always optimum to keep the tax rate at the minimum level or the medium level, so that we get the highest tax revenue. This is what is said by Laffer curve. Next you have the minimum alternate tax, the concept of minimum alternate tax. So what is minimum alternate tax? Under minimum alternate tax, see, there are certain companies, they take, I told you, tax expenditure ali there are lot of exemptions are there, lot of concessions are there. So certain companies, what they do, SEZ allu there is lot of concessions, NMIZ allu there are lot of concessions. export oriented units alli, agricultural processing units alli. Certain companies, what they do, they take all these concessions and show zero book profit. Zero book profit. Andre, they have profit, but they show that everything is exempted from tax, so we are not paying any tax on the zero book profit they are going to show, and they are companies that it is called zero tax companies. Zero tax companies. So upon the zero tax companies, whatever the tax that is imposed, that is minimum. So avaga zero tax, we cannot definitely allow zero tax companies. There should be some tax. Anta company which shows zero book profit, upon which what the tax we are imposing, that is minimum alternative tax. Minimum alternative tax. So the last concept of the day is Rajaswa Gyan Sangham. Rajaswa means tax. In Hindi it is mean tax. Gyan Sangham andre, it's a intellectual congregation. Tax authority is the intellectual congregation. Yaryar bartare idralli? Everybody, Ministry of Finance will have representative, RBI will have its representative, amele direct tax, Directorate of Direct Tax, Directorate of Indirect Tax, everybody will come here in this Sangham, in this other older resort. There they conduct this. There they conduct knowledge exchange, intellectual exchange. They are going to discuss various things, how taxes can be improved. Anta. So this is the concept of Rajaswa Gyan Sangham. Tomorrow I will discuss the terms. Some terms I have to discuss before moving into banking sector in India. Yes? Okay. So if you have any doubts, please put it in the comment section, or you can reach us to through our Telegram channel, right? So please make good use of the classes and take maximum benefit out of it. Please take good care of your health. Let us meet tomorrow. Jai Hind. Thank you.